little dream.
Oh, hello.
Hi. Can I come inside for just a bit?
Of course.
Wow. You have a pretty nice trailer. It's really artsy and analytical.
I'm not so sure about being the analytical type. I do better with creativity than analysis. I think all that is probably just because I actually do not know why. So, yeah. Besides that, what'd you come here for?
I just wanted to check in on you. How's the competition so far?
Honestly, it's terrible for one reason. It's because some of my old classmates are competing as well.
That's a problem? Sorry, I just don't know the history between you all, but I heard from that Scott guy you two were friends?
Yeah, we were friends. Not anymore after the way he treated me, yet he still acts like we are. He still thinks all of this is just a game to him. I told him how I felt, and he doesn't even bother to give a damn.
Sorry to hear that. If I may ask, what happened between the both of you?
Well...
Attention musicals. I want you all to meet me at the beach in 10 minutes. Your first challenge will be taking place there.
We had a beach?
Wait, where's the other team?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Okay, but where's Cameron?
I'm right here.
Wow, what the fuck?
Anyways, your guys' challenge is a game of hide and seek. You're tasked with finding the members of the electrical overloads in under the span of an hour. If you find at least 2/3 of the team, which is about 7 people, you'll be safe from the elimination ceremony. If not, you guys will be up for elimination. Do we get to choose who we find?
No, I'll be the one deciding. Let's see here. Aaron, you'll go for Christopher. Figured it'd be best for 2 team captains to tackle each other head on.
That'd be for the worse.
Doesn't matter. Camille, you'll get Salem. Dante, you'll get Heather. Desmond will get Fitzgerald. Denise with Raylan. Lucy with Caitlin. Madeline with Brooklyn. Santiago with Sienna. Scott with Blair. And Trini with Grace.
Are you serious? You're having me look for the crazy one? If anything, she'll find me before I find her.
Just restrain her. It doesn't sound like my problem.
You tasked me to find her. It is your problem.
Whatever. You guys will start now. Go, go, go!
Not looking back, not giving up, not letting go. I'll keep on running. I'm gonna reach for the stars, although they look pretty far. I'm gonna find my own way and take a chance. Start today. Stars so bright, the colors feel so right. Just stay ahead, we're gonna reach for the stars tonight. Tonight. Wake up, living day by day.
Okay, so I'm looking for that redhead. Where could she be?
Hi, Dante.
Oh my goodness gracious, what now?
You know, I think we should work together for this challenge. And maybe even throughout the competition overall. You're smart, so I think it could benefit us. Besides, we could catch up on everything that we missed.
Is that the only reason why you came to talk to me? To work together? It's clear that you want something from me, so I'm not giving it to you.
Is that so, okay?
Don't ever say that name again. That was a complicated and stressful part of my life I don't want to relive. And right now, you're making me relive it. So you either leave now and never speak to me again, or the two of us will have a problem.
Ooh, getting close to my face, are we? I like that.
You just made it weird.
Alright, I'll go. Under the condition that you work with me.
What?
If you work with me, your secret will be safe with me. I'm pretty sure that I'm the only one who knows about your entire history anyways.
Stalker.
What was that?
Nothing. Continue.
However, if you don't work with me, let's just say it'll be your fault that a can of worms was opened. And your past is a past that no one will redeem you for. So, what's your choice?
My goodness. I've been walking around for 10 minutes and I still haven't found anyone. What's taking so damn long? Chill out, dude. It's only been 10 minutes and we only need to find these guys in under an hour. Plus, you have one of the most easiest people to find. How so? As far as I heard, Fitzgerald has electric powers, right? Try to find someplace that conducts electricity or find someplace with a faint glowing light. They could be there, like in that cave, for example. Hey, you're right. Thanks, Aaron. No worries. Now, where's Chris?
Too close.
Oh no! Where can I hide? Where can I hide? Great. Now nobody can find me here.
Hey. Shh. Keep your voice down. We don't want to get caught.
Sorry. I didn't know you were hiding here. I'll just leave.
No. It's a little harder to get out now that it's more cramped in here.
Oh,
What were you running from anyway?
well, I wasn't running from anything. I was running to find a place to hide. I didn't want to be spotted out in the open from whoever's meant to be finding me.
There was nowhere else for you to hide?
Not that I could find.
Not even in the ocean?
Even if we were allowed to go in the ocean, I can't swim.
Damn.
Of course, Cameron had to make me find an unhinged psycho. Of everybody, it had to be Blair. I guess this world has just been built into my little odyssey, where I'm always assigned the worst things possible on this very adventurous and long-ass journey. Huh? What the hell was that? A note? From Blair? Hi there, Scotty boy, or whatever your name is. I'm behind you right now. You better start running. And then she wrote that message in red ink, but the ink looks a little drippy.
That's not ink. That's blood.
What? Who's there?
Your worst nightmare.
Ow! What the hell is wrong with you?
I am itching for someone to die today. And if I don't see any bloodshed, then I am going to lose it.
Oh, please. It looks like you already lost it. Are you out of your mind?
You should see me when I'm really, really unhinged. This is the most normal you've seen me.
What?
Now it's time for you to die.
Wait.
Ow! Hey, let me go!
Did I just make a string of rope out of sand? Attention everyone! 2 out of the 10 members of the Overloads have been found. The musicals only need to find 5 more of you to win. Wait, we found another person on the other team? Crazy. Come on, let's get going.
Hey, put me down!
Wow, Scott actually captured Blair? That's impressive. But where am I to look for Raylan? I have a flyer to look for. She could probably be flying high for all I know. Raylan! I can see you up there!
Huh? Oh, dang. I was hoping nobody could find me up here.
What were you even doing up there anyway? Seems to me you were doing a lot more than just hiding. Looked like you were watching something.
Oh, that? I was just looking to see if any of my other teammates found good hiding spots and...
I say what now?
Oh, nothing. Just forget I said any of that, yeah?
Okay.
Great. I will see you later then.
What are you guys doing?
Well, what does it look like? We're not doing the challenge.
Why? We only have 30 minutes left and we only found 3 people so far.
What? Did it take you guys 10 minutes to find at least one person?
You know, Dante told me how irritating the both of you guys are. I can see why you guys aren't friends.
Well, I don't know what he's talking about. We've practically been best friends forever.
Hello, what am I to you then?
Shut up, Maddie.
It's they. They use they, them pronouns.
Right. I don't know what they're talking about.
You're as delusional as they told me. Anyway, what do you guys actually contribute to the team? I think I know where the members of the opposing team are.
And how are we supposed to trust you? You could be sabotaging us for all we know.
Yeah.
When I found Raylan hiding in the sky, she said that she was watching over her own team, making sure that their teams were hidden safe and sound.
And how do you know if that's not a lie?
It could be a trap for all we know.
She seemed to be genuinely worried about nearly spoiling every single detail.
She could just be acting.
Why did you take a look by those cliffs over there and see it for yourselves?
By a cliff? What? Does she want us to die?
Just go already!
Okay, we're going. You don't have to be so rude.
And what is this?
I found Caitlin hiding in the ocean. She doesn't seem to be doing well, though. She's been coughing up a lot of salt water after hiding in there for so long.
I'm fine, Lucy. I appreciate your concern, but really, you don't have to worry about me.
Caitlin, as your friend, and I'm not letting a friend pass without making sure she's okay. Besides, some of that salt water did some major damage to your left eye. We need to get that checked out.
I don't think Sienna even tried to hide. She pulled the, if I can't see you, you can't see me card. Seriously, what were you thinking?
What? It works almost every time. Every time I hide behind a statue of a book, at least. Well, don't blame me for being so easy to find.
You were easy to find. You were just standing right in front of a cave. You could have at least gone in there.
That would have made a lot more sense.
At least we found 5 people and there's still about 25 minutes left. I think we might actually win this.
Come on! This plan has to work! It works every time I play hide and seek, so why is this so hard this time?
Maybe it's because you're not seeking.
What the? Hey, you scared the absolute daylight out of me!
My bad. But anyways, it's a game of hide and seek. Why are you just hiding here instead of, well, I don't know, seeking?
Call it reverse psychology.
What does that even mean?
Let me break it down for you in simple terms. I'm sitting here, waiting for Grace to show up. I already used some sort of bait to lure her here. She doesn't even need to come to this exact spot. She just has to get close enough to the point I can see her.
That's actually pretty smart, but how do you know if this plan is going to work?
It works every other time I play hide and seek, especially in cases in which I'm the seeker.
What about in cases in which you're the hider?
Hi guys! Just a reminder that there's only 10 minutes left in the challenge, and so far only 5 members of the Overloads have been found. Musicals, you gotta hurry.
Only 10 minutes? I gotta go. I need to find Chris as soon as possible.
Good luck, Captain.
It's been almost an hour since we've hit here. Maybe we might actually win.
Please try not to jinx it. It might only make things worse.
Oops. My bad.
Yeah, you should really watch what you say. You might sound far less stupid that way.
What the? Where in the world did you come from?
Doesn't matter. You know, Heather, running from someone won't always do you any good.
Wait, I thought you said you were only running to try to find a hiding place in time.
Well,
Oh, so she hasn't told you yet. Yeah, she was running from her seeker.
What?
Yeah, so I saw her seeker walking around the area, and I found they were getting really close to Heather's hiding spot. So she ran off as quickly as possible and hid in here.
Keep it down, Salem. You're gonna get us caught.
That's not true.
Save your breath, you little heathen. People might think you're all tough and nice, but I know what you really are. A pathetic, shy little wuss who can't even do anything right.
Heather, is that true? Were you really running from the person who was looking for you?
Found you.
Damn it.
The challenge is now over. Everyone head back to the main area to hear the results. So, for your first challenge, I gotta say, you all did a spectacular job. Some did better than others, but between these two teams, only one team could have done better than the other. That team being... What?
Get it off! Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!
Brooklyn is freaking out because there's a spider on her face.
Ew, 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 ew! I don't like it. It's hairy and gross and it has 8 legs. Someone, please get it off.
All right, everyone, stand back. I got this. Problem solved.
You dare electrocute the queen of the world!
Hey, there was no better way to get the spider off your head. Something had to be done. Oh, shit.
Anyways, the winners of this challenge are the Mighty Musicals, who found 8 members out of 10 with only 2 minutes to spare, which is just 1 over the maximum requirement. Well done, guys. You should be proud of yourselves.
See? We told you we'd win.
You and Trini didn't even find anyone.
Electrical overloads, you guys have until tonight to decide who should leave your team, as you'll be facing your first elimination of the game. You better choose wisely, though. These eliminations do affect your teams in the long run. I'll see you guys soon.
There! Something had to be done.
Ow.
All right, team. I think it's pretty obvious who should be leaving the team.
Who? It better not be me!
It's not. We're voting off Heather.
What? Why's that? I thought she was sweet.
Heather ultimately sold us the challenge today because her seeker nearly found us.
What? There's no way.
You heard that right. She nearly got caught and chose to hide in the one place that someone else already was.
I'm not buying it. You also showed up to that same hiding spot that we were both hiding in. Besides, she didn't know that I was there, so it's not her fault.
But she did know that someone was chasing her, right?
That part, I still need clarification on, so I don't believe you just yet.
Well, what good is she for the team, huh? All she ever does is cry and complain like the little baby that she is. She hasn't done anything useful for this team, and she's using feelings in order to manipulate everyone in the game. She's pathetic, weak, and most importantly, useless. I'm voting for her, and I know the rest of you will be joining me too.
He's right. We can't have deadweights around if they're not going to contribute anything to this team. They'll only be getting in the way of my victory.
The captain is abandoning us, huh? Once we get rid of Heather, we'll get rid of him next. Then I'll become the team leader.
But the team name is named after me, though.
Quiet, you.
I'm only here to talk.
Well, I'm not. Now leave me alone.
You know I'm not voting for you, right?
What?
I refuse to believe Salem's story. It seems like a whole lot of baloney. Besides, I've seen the way that he's been talking to you before that little incident on the bus, and especially when picking teams. But I just need to know, What actually happened on the beach? Who are you running from?
Do you really want to know?
Yes, and I'm here to listen.
Okay. Well, I was running from...
Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome to your first elimination session, Overloads. How are you all feeling?
I don't like this place. Get me out of here!
This place is ugly. Ugh. I'm a little nervous.
Meh.
Feeling more ready to survive this elimination than I'll ever be.
I'm kind of scared.
I know. I'll survive.
Wonderful to hear. Anyways, how this session will work is that you guys will step into that mine shaft behind me. Over there, you'll find an intersection between 4 different rails and a large glowing crystal above you all. 4 of you will go in there at once. You'll each have to pick one part of the rail to go to. At the end of the rail, you'll find a sheet of paper with a pencil on top of a desk. All you have to do is write the name of the person you want out. Afterwards, the crystal will display a hologram of the amount of votes collected. Whoever has the most votes is out of here. Any questions?
Yeah, actually. Will we be able to see who voted for who on the hologram?
By technicality, only I'll be able to tell based on the main theme color you all indicate. To you all, the hologram will just be plain cyan.
That also seems like a pretty offbeat question to ask.
Just curious.
I'll send 4 of you guys in the mine shaft. We'll go in alphabetical order. Blair is still tied up, and I prefer to keep it this way.
What? Cameron, if you don't let me vote first, I'm gonna kill you.
Brooklyn, Caitlin, Christopher, Fitzgerald. You 4 go up to the shaft. The hologram will display the number of votes each of you guys collected. I hope you're all ready. Alright, to start, I'm shocked to say that at least a good 3/4 of you guys all have 0 votes.
Yeah, but who?
Well, let's see. First safe with no votes is you, Fitzgerald.
Let's go!
Also safe are Grace, Caitlin, and Raylan, all with no votes.
Look at that, Caitlin. We're safe.
I just hope we made the right decision when it came to voting.
I'm surprised how Blair happens to be safe too.
Can't get rid of me that easily, Cameron.
Honestly, I wish I could.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Now, between you 4, Brooklyn, Christopher, Heather, and Salem. You guys are the only ones left. However, only 2 of you received 0 votes as well. Those 2 being Brooklyn and Christopher.
I knew I'd be safe.
No, you didn't.
And now we're down to 2, Heather and Salem. One of you got 2 votes, and the other got 8.
2 votes. I thought every vote should have gone to Heather. I know she voted for herself since she knows that there's no chance anyone would side with voting against me. So which 2 of the 9 of us voted for me?
Could you stop acting like you're all high and mighty, thinking you know everything about Heather? Egotistical having ass.
Excuse me?
Let's cut to the chase. The final contestant safe with 2 votes is... Drumroll, please. Salem. Congrats.
What?
Heather, I'm really, and I mean really, sorry to say this, but with 8 votes, you're the first contestant eliminated from Reach for the Stars.
Haha, that's what you get when you try to cross the line with me.
I actually feel really, really bad for her.
Yeah, but in the end, we had to get rid of the dead weight.
Heather, I'm sorry, but for some of us, this decision wasn't easy. But
considering what Salem told us, we need to focus more on the game at hand, more specifically what's best for our team. Keeping you around would just feel really wrong. You haven't really done much, and you were kind of the reason why we lost anyway.
So you chose to listen to Salem without even hearing my side of the story?
Well, what he said was really convincing.
I can't believe you guys. You know what? Forget it. At least one of you guys listened to me. One who chose to hear the full story. One who actually understood what I was trying to say. Cameron, where do I go?
Oh, well, you're actually free to stay here if you want. You can leave any time now that you're eliminated.
Okay. I'll see myself out then.
This team needs to have a stern talking to. I need to step up my role and authority as the captain of this team. If I don't keep this team in check, who knows what will happen next? Wait a minute, what is this place?
Hey, Dante. You look distraught. What's wrong?
I'm gonna be taking a break from this competition soon.
What? Why? I thought we'd be competing together.
Now that I know Camille's competing in the same show we are, I need to set myself far away from her, as well as Madeline, Desmond, Aaron, and Scott. Being surrounded by those people will only make things worse for my mental health. I spoke with Cameron about it, and he's okay with it, but he'd rather have me leave after the next challenge.
I understand. I hope this break for you will be enough to keep your head in the game and focus on what's really important. If you still need any sort of help whatsoever, you know I'll always be there for you.
Thank you.